Remark. Senator Kelly, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Madam President. This is truly a great day for the town of Stratford, for the 21st Senate District, for our state, and yes, even America. Because we now know that the world's best helicopter will remain being built by the world's best labor. I want to thank the governor and his administration for their efforts to get us to where we are today to help keep Sikorsky here in Connecticut. I'd also like to thank Lockheed Martin for their commitment to our state and, just as important, their commitment to Sikorsky and the Sikorsky family, which includes that good quality labor and all the suppliers that help build that world's best helicopter. What this agreement demonstrates is Lockheed's commitment and trust in the people of Connecticut. That right here, our ingenuity, our creativity, and our capability makes the best product. We're going to now not only make the Black Hawk, we're going to make the King Stallion here in Connecticut. Now, Sikorsky has had a long history here. As we've heard, the invention of the helicopter happened in the greater Bridgeport area, and it remained to be built in Stratford since 1929. 85 years of production happened right here in Connecticut and in Stratford. That's a long commitment, and a lot of things have happened. We started the commercial aviation industry started in Stratford. As I said, the Black Hawk, now the King Stallion. We've always been, Sikorsky's been, on the cutting edge of helicopter aviation, and we're going to maintain that and continue that. It's also a way to not only build helicopters, but to provide for our families. What this means to the families of Greater Stratford, of Stratford, Shelton, Monroe, and Seymour, as well as across Connecticut, is that good-paying jobs stay in our state. That we're going to keep them here, and these are the types of jobs that can pay a mortgage and educate our children, and yes, make sure that we have the quality communities that we all want to live in. So it's more than just a helicopter. It's important to our community. And that's why I'm thankful not only to the governor, but to Lockheed Martin, and to, yes, the good people that actually do the work at Sikorsky to build this quality helicopter. Now, we've had other issues like this come before us in years past. I think this one's a little bit different. I think this is a little different because the return on the investment is a known commodity. The 85-year history, the world's best helicopter, are known commodities. And the impact and importance of Sikorsky to the families of Connecticut is palpable. You can see it. You can feel it. And I can't even imagine a Connecticut without it. And so I'm very happy that we're doing what we're doing today to make sure that we keep that quality company here so that we can have it for the next generation to make the best helicopter here where it should be built. Now, as we do move forward and look at this, we can't take our eye off the ball that, yes, we are in a very competitive economic climate. You heard Senator Fonfara mention there are numerous states looking to compete for jobs. And yes, I understand that that happens on a national scale. This is what you have to do. to compete now. So what we're doing today is a good short-term fix in order to keep jobs in Connecticut. Many of the states that we talked about before are looking to bring new jobs into their state. In other words, they were looking to lure our state jobs somewhere else. And so we had to do this to keep what we had. So that's good for today. But we also have to think about what we need to do to bring jobs to Connecticut from other locations. Just in the Sikorsky family, I know that the repair and maintenance of Marine One left. I'd like to see that come back. That's important. We make the best helicopter here. We have the best talent here. Why shouldn't the president ride on an aircraft that's not only built here, but repaired and maintained here by the best? I think they should, and we should set the stage for that type of I'm going to say economic development to bring jobs back home to Connecticut so that more of our families can enjoy these good-paying jobs. But to do that, we need to look a little bit further. We need to look more long-term. I like to look at another one of my communities, the city of Shelton. The city of Shelton, despite the economics of the state of Connecticut, can continue year in, year out, building its grand list, creating jobs, and lowering taxes. Many years, you either have a zero growth rate in your tax bill, sometimes even a tax cut. And how does that happen in Connecticut? Tell you how it happens. It happens through stable, consistent, reliable fiscal policies that people and job creators can rely on, where the rate of government is small but known. You understand how it happens, and you know what's going to be in next year's budget and whether or not your tax bill is going to go skyrocketing out of control or whether it's going to be a known growth. We don't have that in the state of Connecticut. In the state of Connecticut, we have a fiscal environment that one year we have historic tax increases followed by historic deficits. And that permanent fiscal crisis is what's difficult for other companies that are looking around the country to not invest here. The new jobs, the loss of economic opportunity is what we don't have happening in Connecticut. I hear many times about the governor's new economic reality, which is predicated upon a belief that Connecticut isn't going to be as good as it was before, and that somehow Connecticut residents need to accept a lower standard of living in a second-rate government because Wall Street somehow a few years back melted down, and now we're living in this new economic reality. If that were true, and it was truly pinned solely on Wall Street, then this new economic reality would also be visiting every other state in our country. Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New York, New Jersey would be living in the same economic reality. But they're not. They have a different economic reality. Massachusetts has a different economic reality with GE. But here in Connecticut, we act as if the economic reality was created by something else and that what the policies we have in Hartford had nothing to do with it, when in fact, it does. It has a lot to do with it. And I hear out in the streets now during this campaign season a lot about the doom and gloom that Republicans bring forward, that everything we talk about is doom and gloom and somehow a negative reality. Well, what I'm going to say is when I listen and hear this, it gets me a little bit, I'm going to say a little bit angry. Because all we do is exactly what the other family members of the state of Connecticut do. We're just like them, citizen legislators who live our life. We take our kids to school, to sports. We go to the Stop and Shop or Big Y, fill our tank with gas. We live just like everyone else. And we live in this new economic reality just like the people of Connecticut. And when they bring those comments to us, and as their advocate, I bring it forward because that's the new reality that families feel in Connecticut. They feel this frustration. They feel how hard it is to make ends meet. And so we bring it forward, and then to be met with, that's doom and gloom. Well, that's the reality of Connecticut. Today, what we do with this Sikorsky agreement is more hopeful because it does show that we can keep jobs here in Connecticut and that we do have a quality workforce, a workforce that not only Lockheed trusts, but I trust. These are our friends, our families, and our neighbors. And this is a good thing for Connecticut because it's not only going to help Sikorsky, but it's also the big component that I like to see in this bill was that it was going to help the suppliers and not only make sure that they stayed here working for Sikorsky and making sure that the supply line had a quality workforce making those parts, but that we were going to double that impact and double down on that and make sure that we're going to make a commitment to families of Connecticut that not only work at Sikorsky's plant, but also help supply that plant with the tools and parts that are needed to make that best helicopter in the world. So I'm hopeful for Connecticut. That's why we all do what we do. We want to see Connecticut succeed. We want to see our families succeed and our children succeed. And that's done when we have a healthy and strong economy, and today this is a good short-term fix. But I am going to ask everybody here to keep their eye on the long-term goal, to make sure that Connecticut has the solid fiscal footing and right policies in place so that we can not only do this for Sikorsky today, but do it for every company tomorrow, to make sure that every sized company, whether it's the small 1 and 2 mom and pop shop that puts the key in the door every single day and opens up to put Connecticut to work, that they also have an opportunity to succeed and to get better jobs. So we need to make sure that that happens, but that we all succeed. So I want to thank everybody. Thank the governor for his commitment to this and seeing it through, to Lockheed and Sikorsky and the people that work there, but also to everyone around the circle. I hope that we can get your support for this bill because I think it does a good thing at keeping a quality company that's known and associated with Connecticut to continue to make those quality helicopters here in our state where they rightfully belong and need to be made. Thank you very much, Madam President.
Thank you. Senator Casano.